have you ever really stopped to think what it actually takes for a top footballer to get that dream move? I mean, the sheer willpower, the club standoffs, all the drama that happens behind closed doors.
Yeah, it can get pretty intense.
Totally. And today, we're diving right into a story just like that. It really shows the incredible determination of one player trying to lock down his future. Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're your shortcut to getting properly clued in. Today, our mission is simple. Cut through all the noise, grab the most important bits of insight from the crazy world of football transfers.
Hectics is definitely the word for it.
It is. We're aiming to help you understand what's really going on in these huge negotiations.
Yeah.
And look, all the fascinating stuff we're about to unpack, it comes straight from the latest updates shared by the very respected Fabrizio Romano.
The here we go guy himself.
Exactly. You know the catchphrase? Today, we're digging into the really compelling details he's brought to light.
There's quite a bit to cover.
There is. And hey, if you find these deep dives, as interesting as we do, make sure you hit that subscribe button, stay informed, get those aha moments sent right to you.
Always good to stay updated.
Okay, so let's unpack this first one. Victor Gyökeres. The determination we talked about. This is it. A player trying to force a move. It's really something to watch.
It really is. And Romano's reporting on Gyökeres really lays it bare. The lengths this player seems willing to go to. It's pretty extraordinary. Almost unprecedented, you might say.
Unprecedented, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Romano's been updating, right? He confirmed within the last day or so that Arsenal actually have a 5-year agreement sorted with Gyökeres himself.
That's right. Personal terms, done. Agreed. So his side of the bargain, his decision, that's crystal clear.
He knows where he wants to be.
Absolutely. Romano puts it plainly. He only wants to go to Arsenal. Simple as that. But it's what he's apparently done about it that ramps things up.
Okay, what's the detail there?
Well, according to the reports, he's gone directly to Sporting, his current club, and even to their president, and told them straight, I will not show up for training, and I will not play for Sporting anymore.
Wow. That's taking a stand. A really big one.
Huge. It's a very public, very forceful position against the club that holds his contract.
And it gets even more intense, right? The money aspect. Romano reported something on that too.
Yes. This is maybe the most striking part. He's apparently willing to give up 2 million euros from his own salary package, his own money, to help make the deal happen between Arsenal and Sporting.
2 million euros out of his own pocket.
Essentially, yeah. Contributing it towards Arsenal's offer to bridge that gap with Sporting's valuation. It's a personal financial sacrifice you rarely, if ever, see at this level.
That just screams commitment, doesn't it? It really shows you the human side of these massive deals.
It absolutely does. It changes the whole dynamic when a player puts their own earnings on the line like that. And Romano did mention there was fresh contact, club to club, Arsenal and Sporting, just the other night, trying to push it forward.
Okay, so there's movement. But despite the player basically going on strike and offering his own cash, Sporting are still holding out.
Seems so. Romano says Sporting and their president Verandas, they're still not accepting what Arsenal have put on the table so far.
What are they asking for?
They're insisting on 70 million euros fixed fee. That's their number. No budging, it seems.
And where did Arsenal start?
Their initial offer was reportedly around 65 million plus add-ons. So, there's a difference there.
A gap, but maybe not insurmountable.
Exactly. Romano calls it a small gap. He says negotiations will carry on, and importantly, he still thinks that here we go could drop at any moment. That player pressure is immense.
It really brings up that whole player power versus club power debate, doesn't it? Like, when a player goes this far, does it actually work? Does it force the club's hand, or could it backfire, maybe make the club dig their heels in even more?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Or perhaps the 70 million euro question here.
Yeah.
It's such a high-stakes game. And you do have to wonder, what does this do to the dressing room morale at Sporting? Does it set a difficult precedent for them in future talks? It really underlines how personal and emotional these business deals can become.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's shift gears a bit, because the transfer market never sleeps, right? There's always other stuff bubbling up. What else has Fabrizio Romano been highlighting? Let's talk Jadon Sancho. What's the latest there?
Right, Sancho's future at Manchester United is still up in the air. Romano's latest is that Juventus are planning new contacts with United about him in the coming days.
Juventus again. They seem keen.
They do. And significantly, Juve will also be talking directly to Sancho's camp, his representative, so attacking it from both angles, club and player.
Makes sense. And what about those Fenerbahce links? Any truth to that?
Romano shot those down pretty clearly. He says Fenerbahce are not in talks for Sancho, so that seems off the table for now.
Okay, so it's mainly Juventus pushing. What's the holdup then?
Well, according to Romano, the big one is Sancho's salary. That's flagged as the point to resolve. It often comes down to this, doesn't it? The wages can be just as tricky, sometimes trickier, than the actual transfer fee.
Definitely. Especially for players coming from the Premier League on big contracts. Okay, moving on. Gabriel Martinelli at Arsenal. There were some whispers about Saudi Arabia, Al Nassr specifically.
Yeah, those rumors were doing the rounds. But Fabrizio Romano has been very firm on this one. He says there is nothing ongoing between Al Nassr, that's Cristiano Ronaldo's club, of course, and Martinelli.
Nothing at all.
Apparently not. Romano states Al Nassr are not negotiating, not even in concrete talks, about the possibility of Martinelli leaving Arsenal.
So Arsenal fans can breathe easy on that one for now.
Seems that way. Romano described the situation regarding Al Nassr as completely quiet. He did add that Al Nassr do want to sign a winger this summer, but Martinelli just isn't the one they're currently focused on.
Good clarification there. Okay, what about deals that are happening? Anything looking done and dusted?
Well, there's one that sounds very close, if not complete. Theo Hernandez. According to Fabrizio Romano, Hernandez is going to Al Hilal.
To Saudi Arabia as well, Al Hilal.
That's the one. Romano reports the deal is completed for 25 million euros. He mentioned it was a transfer from AC Milan and actually referenced his former coach, Simone Inzaghi, who's now at Inter, maybe highlighting Hernandez's caliber as a top left back sought after by big names. Seems Al Hilal are getting a serious player there.
25 million seems quite reasonable for a player like Hernandez, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Interesting fee. Shows
Yeah.
the market dynamics, perhaps.
Mm.
Okay, elsewhere, Barcelona are still busy, and we have some updates on the Manchester clubs, too.
Right, Barcelona. They never seem to be quiet in the transfer window.
Yeah.
What's the latest pursuit? Luis Diaz.
Yes, their interest in Luis Diaz from Liverpool is persistent. It's an interesting subplot here. Romano mentioned Al Nassr had actually considered Diaz a dream target earlier in the summer.
Oh, really? Before Martinelli?
Seems that way, yeah. But then there was a management change at Al Nassr, and currently there's no official bid from them for Diaz. So it looks like Barcelona are the main ones pushing now.
And do they think they have a chance? Does the player want the move?
Well, this is key. According to Romano, Barcelona feel that Luis Diaz is keen on the move to join them. He even linked it back to what he called the Nico Gonzalez saga. Maybe meaning Barca feel emboldened after missing out on Nico earlier, or perhaps Diaz saw how hard Barca pushed them.
Ah, okay. So they sense an opening, maybe some encouragement from the player's side.
That seems to be the feeling. Romano says Barcelona plan to make a fresh approach to Liverpool soon in the next few days, basically to try understand if they can open doors to the exit of Luis Diaz.
So testing the waters again, seeing if Liverpool's stance has softened.
Exactly. They're determined to try again, to do their best to land him. Real persistence.
But what if Liverpool say no again? Do Barca have a plan B?
Romano mentioned one. He said if Diaz proves impossible, Marcus Rashford is still an option on their list.
Rashford from Manchester United. Wow.
Yeah. And apparently Rashford himself is very keen on the move, even dreaming of a Barcelona move. That's quite a statement.
That is. But hang on, didn't Liverpool already reject bids for Diaz?
They did. Romano reminded us that both Bayern Munich, who are also interested, and Barcelona got a firm no from Liverpool not long ago. Barca's approach was back in June, Bayern's in July.
So Liverpool have been pretty clear they don't want to sell.
Very clear, which is why Romano stresses ultimately this whole story depends on Liverpool. It's their decision. Unless something drastic changes, they hold the power here, especially if Diaz is on a long contract. It's a classic case of the selling club having the final say.
Right. A good reminder that player desire and buyer interest aren't always enough. Okay, sticking with transfers involving big clubs, let's talk Manchester City and Nico Gonzalez.
Ah, yes, Nico. The midfielder they signed from Porto? When was that again? January deadline day?
Yeah, Romano mentioned January or possibly February deadline day for 65 million euros, a big fee. But now, Romano's suggesting he might already be on his way out.
That's the surprising news. Romano hinted that his impact at City, well, it was not probably the impact they both expected, meaning both the player and the club might feel it hasn't quite worked out as hoped.
6 months later, that's quick.
It is quick. It shows how fast things can change at the top level. Even big money signings aren't guaranteed to settle or succeed immediately.
So is he definitely leaving?
Not definitely. Romano says there's a chance for Nico Gonzalez to leave Manchester City already this summer, but only if a good proposal arrives. It's still not something guaranteed or 100% decided.
So it depends on offers coming in. And maybe his place in the squad.
Exactly. Romano noted he doesn't seem so important in the rotations right now, especially with players like Jack Grealish also competing for minutes in similar areas. So, yeah, the situation for Nico looks open again. A bit of a surprise twist.
Definitely one to watch. Okay, finally, let's clear something up about Manchester United. Rasmus Højlund. There were reports suggesting he wanted out.
Yes, there were reports, as Romano put it, last week on Højlund pushing to leave Man United, but Fabrizio addressed these head-on.
And what did he say?
Unequivocally, he stated those reports are not true.
Not true at all.
Not true. Romano stressed that Højlund is not pushing to leave Man United. Quite the opposite, in fact.
Oh, what's the actual feeling then?
According to Romano, Højlund would love to stay, would love to continue at United, and would love to do his best for the club in the upcoming season.
Well, that's a complete turnaround from those reports. A strong statement of commitment.
It really is. It shows how misleading transfer speculation can sometimes be, and the pressure it puts on players. Romano was clear. The only way Højlund leaves is if Manchester United decide to let him go, perhaps to sell him to make profit.
So it's entirely in United's hands, not the player's wish.
Precisely. Romano confirmed if it's up to Højlund himself, he is keen on staying at Manchester United and would love to stay. A very different picture to the Gyökeres situation we started with.
Completely different. Wow. Okay, so we've covered a lot there. A real whirlwind through the latest transfer activity, from Gyökeres' intense push to Barcelona's determined chases, and getting that clarity on Højlund's situation.
Yeah, Fabrizio Romano's updates, as usual, give us that direct line into what's really happening, beyond just the headlines, lots of nuance.
Definitely. So thinking about all these stories, what really stands out to you listening in? Is it the crazy money involved, the human drama of it all, players wanting moves, clubs holding firm, or just that complex dance between everyone involved?
It's fascinating how different each situation is, isn't it?
It really is. And this deep dive, drawing on Romano's insights, it just highlights that, doesn't it? We see the big news flashes, but the real transfer sagas, they're often defined by these behind-the-scenes things. A player making a personal sacrifice like Gyökeres, a club standing absolutely firm like Liverpool, or a dream move that's so close, just that small gap away. It really makes you wonder, in any given negotiation, who actually holds the ultimate power? Is it the player? The selling club? The buying club? It seems like the answer changes almost every single time.
It certainly keeps things interesting.
It does indeed. Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the transfer market maze. We hope you picked up some fresh perspectives, some genuinely insightful nuggets from Fabrizio Romano's reporting.
Hope it was useful. Stay curious.
Absolutely. Stay curious, and we'll catch you for the next one.